So the music business is one of the hardest hit financially wise businesses in during the pandemic. And the KFC Yum Center, as you see, they are still doing fine. They were probably doing fine. The Louisville Palace was taken care of. They were doing fine. But they were able to pivot. Some musicians and artists were not able to pivot as well, or some did, as we will see and find out how they did that exactly, because it is a good story to be told.
You can either join the workforce and probably not make enough money, be working long hours for low wages. You could take unemployment or stimulus checks, which are, again, usually not sufficient. Or you could define your worth. You can decide what services you want to offer the world, and you can go out and give those services and charge what you believe you deserve. And I believe if everyone did that, the economy, the world would be a better place. It really would. It would look different.
Agree.
All right. So do you want to introduce me, or should I introduce
Yeah, so this
myself?
is Pearson Keating, and you can introduce yourself. This is one of my best friends, Pearson Keating. He's a real working musician through all of this, so go ahead and you can say more.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Pearson Keating, and I actually attended U of L in 2009 to 2012. I came very close to graduating. However, I did not graduate. I was in the music program, jazz piano performance and composition, and I did not graduate. However, I am today. I'm a full-time working musician. I have like between 12 and 15 students. I haven't counted exactly the number of students I have. I'm gigging multiple times a week, and I'm doing some consulting work, and I'm making an above-average living as a full-time professional creative freelance musician. So I did that. And around this time, I got in touch with my current mentor. His name's Christian Howes. He's a string player. He's a celebrated string violinist, jazz violinist. It's been written about in some major music publications. You can Google him. He is the one that really got me started with this idea that I could actually be a freelance teacher and a freelance musician and make my own terms. And the way that he did that was very interesting, because he changed my mindset from a mindset of victimization, a mindset of being at the effect of what was going on, of the pandemic and of hard financial hardship, to being more of a causative force in my life, to where I could define what I'm worth. And I could look at my services as service, but I could look at what I do as a musician, as a consultant, as a teacher, as being of service to people. And it was that shift in my mindset, and that was facilitated by Chris, that really helped me to start realizing that I could probably do this. I could probably actually still thrive as a freelance musician in spite of the pandemic, in spite of the lack of work that a lot of other musicians were facing.
Sure. So yeah, this is just about musicians. The arts and the music business is one of the hardest hit during the pandemic financially, because places had to close, right, with no warning and no compensation. I mean, one of my big things is like, oh, hey guys, we're gonna force everyone to not work, okay? But when we're gonna give you like $1,200 for 6 months.
Right, for
Like,
6 months.
what the fuck kind of math are y'all doing?
No matter where you live, too.
No matter where you live. Doesn't matter if you're in the hood or in Beverly Hills.
Right. Yeah, and it's the
$1,200 for 6 months to a year indefinitely. We don't know. Like, are you guys? I think we should murder all of you right now. This is time for a palace revolution, bitch. Like, I don't know. That threw me off. But especially musicians, they're just like, sorry guys, you guys just can't work now, and we're gonna give you $1,200 for indefinitely. Bye. Like, okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ways that the government responded, and not just the government, but the general response to the pandemic that is more or less insane. Is
Yeah.
this going to be an interview? There would be more service. There would be more value that everyone would offer, and even in the midst of disasters, people would grow more resilient and more strong, and art would flourish because of that independent and not
Spirit.
independent,
Yeah.
interdependent. It's a matter of interdependence and not and knowing that no matter what happens, as long as you believe in what you're worth, you're going to be okay.
That entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah. I love it. Pierce, thanks. This was like gold, man. This was really good. And Pearson Keating, online YouTube music teacher, and how he continued to get through and do it. So